Factor the cubic function g of x equals 3x cubed minus 12x squared plus 8x minus 32 using grouping. Okay, let's first check and see if we have any common factors. And so there's no number that goes into 32, 8, 12, and 3, and because 3 doesn't go into all of them, and that would be the highest that could even go into the first. And also there's not an x in every term, and so there's nothing that we can factor out. So now using grouping, we can group together the first two terms and the second two and factor out the greatest common factor. So in the first two terms, we see that 3 and 12 are divisible by 3, and then also it's divisible by x squared since there's at least the x squared in both terms. And so then what we have left over is we have an extra x in the first term, and then we have a minus 4 in the second term. And then we can always check 3x squared times x gives us 3x cubed. 3x squared times negative 4 gives us negative 12x squared. And then the second two terms, then 8 goes in both 8 and 32. And then we have left over x, and then minus 8 times 4 gives us 32. So notice that we have the same factor, and that's what we want because now we can factor out the x minus 4 and put that in front. And so then we're left with the terms that's multiplied by 3x squared plus 8. And then the last step is just to check, can we further factor this quadratic term? So 3x squared plus 8. And so now the last step is just to look at our quadratic that we have left, the 3x squared plus 8, and see if we can further factor it. And so looking at this, we have no middle term, and so we also see these aren't perfect squares, and so we know it's not going to be the difference of two squares. We also know it won't be a perfect square trinomial, and because it has no middle term and it doesn't fit any of our forms, and there's no greatest common factor between these two, then there's no further way that we can factor this. And so let's go ahead and summarize our answer. G of x equals x minus 4 times 3x squared plus 8.